Eldoria was a peaceful village. It was nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river. The people there were kind and hardworking. They farmed the land and told stories around crackling fires. Life was simple but good. However, one young villager dreamed of more.
My name is Alex. I am brave and curious. I love to explore the forest surrounding Eldoria. I spend hours listening to the whispers of the wind. I feel a longing for something more. I read every book in the village library. I yearn for adventure. I dream of faraway lands and mythical creatures.
One day, while exploring the attic of his grandfather's house, Alex stumbled upon something incredible. It was an old, dusty chest tucked away in a dark corner. He cautiously lifted the lid. Inside, beneath layers of cobwebs, lay a rolled-up piece of parchment. Alex's heart pounded with anticipation.
I carefully unfurled the parchment. As I did, a musty smell filled the air. I held my breath. Before me lay an ancient map. It depicted lands beyond anything I had ever imagined. The map was worn, but the faded ink still held the secrets of a lost realm.
The news of the map spread through the village like wildfire. The villagers gathered in the village square, buzzing with excitement. They had heard the legends of the lost realm. They never dared to believe they would see it found. They wished Alex, Mira, and Leo luck on their journey.
We spent the next few days gathering supplies. We packed ropes and grappling hooks for climbing. We packed herbs and bandages for healing. We packed enough food and water for weeks. We knew the journey would be long and perilous. We needed to be prepared for anything.
The village blacksmith, a burly man named Thorin, gifted us weapons. He gave Alex a sturdy sword. He gave Mira a bow and a quiver full of arrows. He gave me a heavy axe that gleamed in the sunlight. These weapons, forged in the heart of Eldoria, would protect us from the unknown dangers that lay ahead.
On the morning of their departure, the entire village gathered to see them off. The sun peeked over the horizon, casting a warm glow on their faces. There were tears of farewell, there were shouts of encouragement. Alex, Mira, and Leo embraced their families. They promised to return with tales of their adventures. With a final wave, they turned their backs on Eldoria and set off into the unknown.
We stood at the edge of the chasm. We felt the heat scorching our faces. The ground trembled beneath our feet. We knew we couldn't turn back. The lost realm was so close, we had come too far. I studied the map, my brow furrowed in concentration. There must be a way across, I muttered. The map shows a hidden bridge. I pointed to a faint symbol on the parchment. It's near the waterfall. One of the most daunting challenges was a fiery chasm. It stood between us and the mountains that hid the lost realm. The chasm stretched as far as the eye could see. It was a raging inferno of molten lava and plumes of smoke. The air was thick with the acrid smell of sulfur. The map led them through dense forests and across treacherous mountains. They faced many dangers along the way. They encountered packs of snarling wolves. They outsmarted mischievous goblins. They even navigated a maze filled with optical illusions. Through it all, their friendship and their determination kept them going. Following my lead, they found the waterfall.
It cascaded down the side of the chasm, its waters vaporizing before they reached the lava below.
Behind the curtain of water, they discovered a narrow ledge.
It led to a rickety rope bridge.
The bridge spanned the chasm, swaying precariously in the wind.
Just as they were about to set foot on the bridge, a fearsome roar shook the ground.
A monstrous dragon emerged from the smoke. Its scales shimmered like 1,000 sunsets. Its eyes glowed with fiery intensity. The dragon guarded the bridge. It would let no one pass.
Alex drew his sword.
Leo hefted his axe.
Mira knocked an arrow in her bow.
They were prepared to fight, but they knew they couldn't defeat the dragon in a direct confrontation. It was too powerful. They needed to outsmart it.
Mira, ever resourceful, came up with a plan.
She whispered her idea to Alex and Leo. They nodded in agreement. It was a risky plan, but it was their only chance.
Alex distracted the dragon, keeping its attention on him. He dodged its fiery breath, using his agility to avoid its snapping jaws.
While Alex kept the dragon occupied, Mira and Leo worked quickly.
We need to gather loose rocks and pile them high at the edge of the chasm.
And tie a sturdy rope to this large boulder. That should do it.
They lowered the boulder towards the lava, using the rope as a counterweight. The dragon, distracted by Alex, didn't notice what they were doing.
Now with a final push.
They sent the boulder crashing down on the far side of the bridge. The impact created a shockwave, and the bridge swayed violently. The dragon, caught off guard, lost its balance and tumbled over the edge. It let out a roar of frustration as it disappeared into the fiery depths.
We did it. The dragon's gone.
With the dragon gone, Alex, Mira and Leo cautiously made their way across the bridge. They reached the other side, their hearts pounding with adrenaline. They had faced their fear and emerged victorious.
We did it! We really did it!
Yes, but we must continue our journey. We're getting closer to our goal.
Finally, after weeks of travel, they reached the mountains that hid the Lost Realm. They followed a winding path through the peaks. The air grew colder, and the vegetation changed from lush greenery to snow-covered pines. As they rounded a bend in the path, the Lost Realm revealed itself. It was more beautiful than they could have imagined. Waterfalls cascaded down the mountainsides, their waters feeding into crystal-clear lakes. Lush forests stretched as far as the eye could see, teeming with strange and wonderful creatures. The air shimmered with an ethereal glow. It was a place of magic and wonder.
Look at this place. It's like a dream.
Yeah, it's amazing.
As they ventured deeper into the Lost Realm, they encountered talking animals, mischievous fairies, and wise old trees. They learned that the realm was protected by ancient magic. This magic was the source of its beauty and wonder. It was a force for good in the world. However, their joy was short-lived.
What's happening here? Everything seems off.
They soon discovered that a dark sorcerer had cast a shadow over the realm. He sought to control its magic for his own evil purposes. He had enslaved many of the creatures and was slowly draining the life force of the realm.
The creatures of the Lost Realm are living in fear. The once vibrant forests are losing their color, and the lakes are becoming murky.
We have to stop the Dark Sorcerer. We came here seeking adventure, but now we must save this realm.
Alex, Mira and Leo knew they had to stop the Dark Sorcerer. They had come to the Lost Realm seeking adventure. Now they found themselves responsible for its fate. The sorcerer lived in a fortress of obsidian and shadow. It was located in the heart of the Lost Realm, casting a dark shadow over the land. He had twisted the once beautiful creatures into grotesque mockeries of their former selves. He ruled with an iron fist, his heart cold and devoid of mercy.
We can't defeat the sorcerer alone. We need help.
We must rally the creatures of the Lost Realm to our cause. We can promise to free them from the sorcerer's tyranny.
And remind them of the beauty and wonder that the realm once held.
Together they formed an unlikely alliance. They marched on the sorcerer's fortress, their combined might shaking the ground. The battle was long and fierce. Spells flew like rain and swords clashed. The fate of the Lost Realm hung in the balance.
We can do this. Stay strong.
Alex, Mira and Leo fought bravely, their friendship giving them strength. They had learned much on their journey. They had faced their fears and overcome incredible odds. They used their skills and their wits to outsmart the sorcerer's minions. They pressed on towards the heart of the fortress, determined to confront the sorcerer himself. The sorcerer awaited them in his throne room. He was a formidable opponent, his eyes blazing with dark power. He hurled bolts of dark energy, laughing menacingly.
You think you can defeat me? Foolish mortals!
Alex, Mira and Leo stood their ground, their resolve unwavering. They knew that the fate of the Lost Realm rested on their shoulders.
We won't back down.
For the Lost Realm!
For all the creatures.
In the end, it was their combined strength and their unwavering belief in the power of good that triumphed. Alex's sword found its mark, piercing the sorcerer's defenses. Mira's arrow, guided by her unwavering aim, struck true. Leo's axe, powered by his unwavering strength, delivered the final blow. With a deafening roar, the sorcerer was vanquished. His fortress crumbled around them, the dark magic that fueled it dissipating into the air.
We did it. The sorcerer is gone.
The creatures of the Lost Realm were freed from their bonds. The forests began to bloom anew, the lakes sparkled once more. Alex, Mira and Leo, hailed as heroes, knew they couldn't stay. They had their own home to return to, but they promised to protect the Lost Realm, to keep its secret safe. They knew that the magic of the realm would forever hold a place in their hearts. They would carry the lessons they had learned on their journey with them always.